This show is proudly sponsored by TraderCobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to TraderCobb.com where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. Today's guest you've probably heard of before. You've probably heard the baritone of this man. You've seen his channel. You've seen him around the place. He's a big dog in the space, been around for a long time. I am personally a fan as well. I'm speaking with Crypto Beadles. Thank you so much for your time today, mate. Great having a chat.
Hey, well, thanks for having me and for the kind words, man. God bless you. It's awesome.
No dramas at all, mate. It's just the truth. That's all we speak here, buddy. Look, first of all, I just want to sort of jump straight in and just speak a bit about your background, mate, because I spoke with you a few weeks back, and you've come into this space much the same as myself, but from a different industry. What were you doing before you came into here, and what brought you into this space?
Gotcha. So I guess I'll just give you kind of the 200-foot aerial. So Crypto Beadles is what they call me, is just a cheeky fun, right? Just my name is Robert Beadles. Threw crypto in there just to be fun for friends and family. But yeah, so Christian, father, husband, that's me in a nutshell. I build businesses. I started, in construction. I built one of the largest construction service companies in California. I've always been kind of geeky, a little nerdy, always loved tech. Started programming when I was young, created bulletin board systems, all that kind of stuff. So I created a software company. Once my construction company got up and running and didn't need me there day to day anymore. So then I started building stuff for the government, for the United States Post Office. We started building applications for them. Around 2011, this crazy Brit, Max Kaiser, good buddy of mine, I've met this guy a bunch of times now, and I just love this dude. But anyways, in 2011, he basically, told us how, in 2011 is when I heard, but he was saying in 2008, the financial crisis, the collapse, all that was due to central banks. It was due to these big institutions, big business bailouts. The dollar's doomed. We need something called Bitcoin to save the day, right? So he had told that to me. I looked into it, and from then on, I got bit by the bug, right? It was pretty incredible, the technology, the little 9 pages white paper there. And, I just kept looking more and more into it, started getting really involved into it. And a lot of my friends and family knew that I was in blockchain and crypto, all that kind of stuff. And in 2017, everybody decided to get into Bitcoin, right? And so who do they call? They started calling me, right, with the same questions over and over and over again. How do I buy it? How do I sell it? Where do I go? Who can I trust? All that kind of stuff, right? And then after a while, enough of my buddies, were smarter than me, and they're like, hey, man, why don't you just put together a video that explains all the nuances, all the basics for us. That way you can just point people to it, right? So came up with this cheeky little name, Crypto, and then Beadles, because my last name, and everybody's just asking about crypto. So we did this on YouTube back in 2017 sometime. And we basically just did a couple videos telling people, their friends and family, how to navigate the waters, right? And then they loved it. And so, but then they put me to work. They started asking me to start covering, these different projects they were thinking of investing in, right? They wanted me to, find out more, give reviews, do this, do that. So a couple of days a week, I would basically spend time with either the founders or CEOs of these projects and bring them on the channel and let them explain to the people, what it is they do and why people should care. So I've done that over 1,000 times. And I think only 500 of them or so, we actually aired, because like the other 500 were just like straight scams. And it's like me having, technical expertise background, asking people questions and quickly realizing that they're just there to steal people's money. That stuff never made the light of day. But anyway, so that's how we kind of got into the, I guess, the YouTube area, right? Was through Crypto Beadles. Then we, got our own TV show in 46 million households. We're the face of TradingView sessions on TradingView. We have a podcast as well, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, in 2017, one of the things that I kept, hearing and seeing and quickly realized is there was no really, awesome wallet, right? There was nothing out there where people could, safely store while controlling, their basic cryptocurrencies. So we set out to basically my co-founder, he wanted to create this reoccurring payment mechanism for merchants of sorts, right? And I'm like, that's cool, but I don't really hear a lot of people wanting that right now. What I'm hearing is they kind of want an all-in-one solution for cryptocurrency, starting with keeping their funds safe. So let's create a wallet, right? Let's create a wallet that stores, all the major cryptocurrencies and allow the user to be in control of it. So we did that, and then we just kept making it better and better and better, like adding the buy and sell feature from your bank account or your credit card, adding a decentralized exchange to it so people could just start swapping tokens from day one, adding their market cap, adding their portfolio tracker, adding news, all kinds of cool stuff, adding interest that they could earn on their crypto. Then, of course, we also launched Monarch Pay, which allows merchants to start basically using cryptocurrency for reoccurring transactions. So now they're looking at less than 1% in fees. Like with credit cards, they got to deal with chargebacks. They got to deal with these high fees. People use Patreon, they 10, 12%. So there's a big incentive for merchants to use something that's cryptocurrency related if it's easy, right? So if it's easy and it's going to cost them less than 1% with no strings attached, and they're always in control of their funds, seemed like a smart thing to do, right? So it brings a lot of value to the space. We created that. We launched it a couple of weeks ago. It's just going to keep getting better and better. But the value proposition for merchants is simple. It's like, hey, are you tired of paying 3 to 12% transaction fees? And are you tired of chargebacks? If you are, start using Monarch Pay. It costs less than 1%. Yeah. So it's less than 1%. There's nothing to sign up to. Anybody can use it today. They can just go to monarchpay.com, start using it. Right now, it's for desktop only. However, it'll be integrated into the Monarch wallet itself within probably the next couple of weeks. And we're using MetaMask on the desktop, which is a little clunky, but that'll be gone probably in the next few weeks as well. So it's going to be just kind of like a centralized feel, stupid simple to use. Merchants will have all the bells and whistles that they're used to with like a centralized system while it's decentralized. So it's incredible. The beta is out right now, but like the thing that's going to be like really, really incredible that I'm proud of, is probably, a few weeks to a month out. But people can start using it today, and it works. It's safe, it's cheap, it's reliable, it's awesome.
Monarch
Pay.
Website?
Monarchpay.com.
Monarchpay.com. I'm writing that down because I want to
so we got two things basically, right? So we have an amazing wallet, which is more, when we call it a wallet, it's not because it just holds crypto. It holds the best companies and services in crypto, in blockchain that we partnered with in one place. So imagine having to download like 40 different apps to have 40 different services or 40 different companies. Well, with Monarch, the goal is to have one. So with Monarch Wallet, you access all these other companies through one login, and you have access to all their services through the Monarch login. And it also holds all your cryptocurrencies, or a big portion of the coins out there as well. And so when we say wallet, it's really a wallet to hold the best services and companies in one place through one login. And then we have our merchant solution as well called Monarch Pay. So it's kind of like two different parts of the business that are all under the same umbrella, so to speak, that are just here to bring value. What's that?
Becoming an octopus. You'll continue to grow out until you have your 8 legs. Maybe a double octopus like 16. But you've answered basically the first 4 questions I got here, which is what's your focus now. And obviously that is your focus. Focus is to be working on that. I'm excited to see what you come up with there, mate. I mean, look, the question it begs to be asked. Like, you're a successful guy. You've built a very successful building business, a very successful tech company. Now you're moving into this space. You sound like you got into the blockchain and crypto asset space quite early as well. So I'm sure you've done quite well out of that. What's the drive for you? I mean, is it just that you like to be busy? I mean, don't you want to go hunting or fishing or something like that? Is there nothing else that you want to do? Is building businesses your hobby?
That you hit the nail on the head, right? So you ask my wife, you ask anybody that knows me, I'm the guy that just works 24/7. I only sleep a couple hours a night. So like in my spare time, I wrote a book, right? So that was over the weekend. I had the weekend where I'm going to take a little bit of time off from programming, and I just wrote a little book to help people, right? And so I'll launch that. I don't know how to sit still. I'm at a stand-up desk. I don't know if you can see this. I can't sit down, man. I'm always doing something, right? So after I build one company and it doesn't need me anymore, and it's profitable, it's running well, got great people behind it, then I go build another one. That's what I do for fun, man. Like when I have to go on vacation, and that's why I say when I have to, because we all have duties. We have duties as husbands, right? So as a husband, you have obligations, right? You got to take the missus every once in a while to do something that she wants to do. But I'm still the guy in the back of my laptop working. You know what I mean? That's just who I am. It feels inherently wrong. Yeah, it just feels inherently wrong to just to be I don't know, just sedentary, not doing something. I always have to be moving and building something, creating value, and then just, move on and build something else, right? And make sure that whatever I built, prior, has great leadership, running it. So
That's
that's
awesome.
what I do for fun.
Man, I just wanted to ask that from a personal perspective. My business partner is very much the same as that. Whereas I'm the sort of guy that I'll keep going and going and going and going. But then when I stop, don't call me. I've stopped. And usually it's when I go fishing. I try and go fishing in places where I'm so far out to sea that I can't get any reception. So I'm out. I can't even be tempted. I'm just focused on fishing, and that's it. The rest of it, or underwater spear fishing. But it's interesting to see that, because there's a lot of commonality between myself, my business partner, and you as well. Now, of course, I want to ask you a little bit about alts. It's obviously the talk of the town, has been for quite some time now, with Bitcoin picking up a little bit of steam once again over the last sort of 48 hours, which is nice to see. Pulling back a little bit now, but I mean, people are always saying, when is it alt season? When is it alt season? Like they're expecting that it will happen again. Now, I'm a big advocate for history repeating itself. I'm a trader. I use technical analysis, which is trends repeating itself through a specific checklist to allow me to have a higher probability of success. So I get using history as a bit of a guide for the future. But I mean, this could change. It doesn't necessarily mean we will definitely get an alt season. And the thing is, if we do get another one, it'll be because of the new money coming in, right? New money will come into Bitcoin, driving it higher, up through 20,000, so on and so forth. And then that money will move into what? Now, it'll probably be the newer projects. It might even be just within the top 10, because the next wave of investor, I personally believe, might be someone who's a little bit more mature, a little bit more experienced, and has a little bit more money. So they're probably looking at more of a safe haven. So what do you say to these people out there that are sitting on alts expecting another alt season? What's your view on that? Do you think we're going to see it, and will it change?
I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be sadly disappointed. I think that, alts, kind of had their moment, so to speak, where you could just throw money at anything and make money. I think the market's gotten a little bit more savvy since then. I do believe that rising tides raise all ships, right? So I do think when more money comes in, you're going to see alts across the board go up a little bit. But are they going to hit those all-time highs again? Do we see, tokens that, were $20 or $100 or whatever that are $3 now going back to that? Most likely not. Like you said, some of the newer projects that come in that have that hype surrounding it, those are the ones that'll probably end up doing well. The ones that are existing tokens, they have a lot further to go. They have to go a lot further to get back where they were and then make the investors even more money. So that's really, really difficult. I think Bitcoin's kind of the one to watch. I think that a lot of these alternative tokens and coins that are out there, a lot of them are going to go to zero. I said this, if you go watch my very first video in 17, I told them, look, never put a penny in. You're not willing to lose, because most of these are going to go to zero. I said, most of these are going to go to zero. So not to scare anybody here, but I'm telling you, you're going to lose your money. This is all just hyperinflated. These things are not worth this. This is going to crash, right? I told them that in 17, and it did just a few months later, right? And I've always been true to this. I've never taken a penny from anybody. I've never promoted or shilled anything for any amount of money. I only bring people on just to cover what the community asks me to. And so, I've always been brutally honest. And so with alts, some are going to go up, make no mistake, but the majority of them are dead. You know what I mean? They raised their money already. They've already spent it. They're out there as mouthpieces, if they're even still there. You know what I mean? Trying to raise more money. People that had huge monster ICOs are freaking broke that are getting ready to do another one. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, you haven't done anything with the first 200 million you raised, and now you want more?
Yeah.
What have you done with that? Right. And so, like, oh, well, we left it in Ethereum tanked, and so blah, blah, blah. It's like, well,
Your fault, fool.
It's just bad business, right?
Yeah.
And so there's, story after story of things like this. And so I think what we're going to see over the next few years is you're going to see some of those smaller alts that are actually of value get gobbled up by bigger companies. Yeah. And some of those bigger companies are going to get gobbled up by even bigger companies. And some of the biggest companies we see right now are going to disappear because they're going to go under. They're going to have that Mt. Gox moment. So all the stuff that I think that we think we know, we don't know it. You know what I mean? It's like what we think is going to happen isn't, and what we don't think is going to happen probably will. And that's what I think is going to happen over the next few years. But I stick by with what I just said right there. I think most of these are going to zero, and the new ones coming out that have a lot of hype, big teams behind them. I think those are the ones that you're going to see some money come out of. The existing ones, they have a lot further to go and a lot more to prove, especially when they've got years of track record of basically accomplishing nothing. So
yeah,
it'll be tough.
Well, Bravo, bravo, Robert. Look, we speak the same language. I've been pretty brutal on that as well. You do cop some flack, and I haven't taken $1 for any interviews I've ever done either. It's the same thing. It's just let me just do something for the people and for me to learn as well myself. And I speak to a lot of these projects, and I've grilled them, like not to be rude, but just to ask the questions that need to be asked. Like, okay, you like, for example, perfect example is NEM. Was top 4 token at one stage, worth 1.4 billion market cap. Now they're asking for, like, trying to raise that $7 million for their whatever it was. They've just gone through to nothing. They all through 17 they were saying we're going to come out with this new upgraded whatever they call it, and then all through 18 we're going to come out. Nah. Didn't do anything. All they did was spend airfares all around the world doing stuff, saying stuff, and accomplishing nothing. Then they asked for more money. Hang on a second. You've got a $1.4 billion valuation where you own a slab of those tokens. Have you not at least thought about your next 5 years of operating costs to at least get to a revenue stage? Well, no, we didn't think of that. Of course you didn't, you fools. That's why you're in this position. You want money from me? Are you kidding me? No offense to anyone out there at NEM, but I mean, it's business 101. If you need $5 million to get to revenue and you've got 20 million, then bank 10. Because at least you've got the runway to get you to at least somewhere where you can actually start to make the business turn over, so it doesn't require you to just keep burning someone else's money. And that's what pissed me off so much about this whole thing. Now, I didn't get really caught up in the ICO thing because I'm a trader. I will trade alts, but my purpose for trading alts is really to take those swings and get out. A lot of people in 17, when I was trading, like, hodling's the only way to go. How'd that go for you, Charlie Brown, through 2018? Not very well. How's it going for you now? Not very well. So it's about knowing what you're doing within the market, and also knowing that a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and focusing in on what you can work out. I mean, what do you think of fundamentals? I mean, what the hell is a fundamental in an alt?
Gotcha. So, I mean, it starts off with the team, right? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing you got to look at, right, is, you got the team, but more important than that is the idea, right? So is the idea even, valuable, right? Is it something people even want? Okay. So we've established that exactly right. Does it need to be a token? Does it need to be in blockchain? Can it just be some other centralized company? So once you've established that, okay, great. It's something that people would want, people would need. Who's behind it? Right? Who's behind it? Okay. So I don't care, if they've got, 50, 60, 80, 90 people in it, but they all are like C+ students or C+ business guys. It's not going to do anything. Right. So you kind of look and you see, okay, who's behind the team, who has, kind of a proven track record of success. That's really a hands-on guy, not just a mouthpiece. Then you look and you see, okay, how are they backed? How are they funded? Okay, cool. They've got good funding. They've got good backing. Okay, now how are they going to get the word out? Because I don't care how good you are, right? You're nothing if people don't use you.
Yep.
So you look and you see, okay, so they've got a good media presence, or they have, good marketing, or they have a way to get the message out to the masses and things like that. And then that's how you kind of start, right? And then if you're a little bit more technical savvy, then you start looking at the white paper. Maybe you interview them. Maybe you call them. You say, hey, guys, I like what you're doing here. I have a couple questions. I'm thinking about investing. But before I do, I need some answers, right? And so that way you're not just listening to some idiot on YouTube, saying, hey, buy this thing. It's going to go to the moon, right? Or, hey, some buddy of yours, is like, hey, guy, somebody told me this coin's going to moon, right? We have way too much of that. It's died down a lot, but that was most of 17, right? It was, 60% or so of the traffic to exchanges came from YouTube. It came from somebody watching somebody, shill some crap, and, then their audience would go and buy it. And then, or it came just, from people that weren't really in the space that, maybe made some money in something stupid. And because they made a little bit of money, they thought they were some kind of expert. And so then they tell all their friends, and and then they get all their friends and family in there. They're mortgaging their houses. They're doing all this crazy stuff. And then the market tanks, right? So, yeah, I mean, do your own research, right? So that's one of the keys. Most people don't, and that's one of the problems. But I think that enough people got burned in 17, 18, whatever. They're either out of it altogether, or now they're a lot more skeptical, and they need to be when they're looking at these projects. So start with the idea, team, money, marketing, roadmap, white paper, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, fundamentals.
Fundamentals. Gotcha. Thanks for that, mate. Hey, I know what your focus is at the moment. Obviously, it's working on the wallet and the payment system, which I'm sure is, it's taking a lot of time. I know you've got a bit of travel coming up. Have you found that you've probably just been sort of locked in a room and working your butt off on this thing, I would guess. being the person that you are by the sounds of it. But have you come across anything recently that's kind of, I don't know, just excited you, something new? Like obviously there's been the talk about back, there's been this, there's been that, there's been ETF, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff that's been there for a long time. Is there anything that might have been off the radar that you've come across and you've gone, that's either a great idea, a great thing for adoption, or some new player coming into the space? Is there anything there that's sort of maybe off the radar a little bit that's got you pumped?
Yeah, like I've said, from the beginning, man, cryptocurrency is either, the greatest freedom for the people or the biggest enslaver of the people, right? And so, because you can use it for good or for evil. And so we're going to see, because, China is supposed to be launching their own cryptocurrency in November, right? That they're going to be force feeding their citizens, that the 7 large banks and corporations like Alibaba are going to be the first ones using this, accepting this, and pushing it to their people. And so with blockchain, as you know, a lot of it's transparent, right? Well, that's fine if it's kind of like an open public ledger type thing, right? But with the Chinese, I don't imagine that it's going to be that, right? So they could actually really see exactly how much money their citizen has, what they spend their money on, where it's at, who it went to. Maybe they're a bad citizen now, so now they freeze their funds. Maybe now they take them back. So why do I mention this? Well, this is a government, right? This is China, right? That's going to be using their own cryptocurrency. And don't think for a second a lot of other countries aren't going to follow suit and start doing it. And so this is huge for the space. It may be pure evil. I have no idea, right? We'll have to wait and see. But it's huge for cryptocurrency adoption across, the global spectrum of things. And so I think that's enormous. I think Facebook being the pioneer for us with the regulators is enormous, because that's going to help, get the clarity that so many corporations and companies are looking for before they really enter the space. So those are real exciting things. And why? Why does it matter if people start using Libra or they start using the renminbi or whatever? Well, because people, when they start using crypto, they're going to start realizing, hey, wait a minute, I'm not making money with this stuff. And people told me, you can buy Lambos with crypto, right? But these things all seem to be stable. What's this thing called Bitcoin? What's this thing called Ethereum? What's this XRP? What's this? What's that? And then they start getting more educated, right? They start looking into all these other projects, and they start seeing things of value. And so I think that's what it's going to do. It's not going to be an overnight process. This is, 2, 3, 5 years out before you really see, huge adoption. But I think this is kind of how it starts, man. A lot of people are looking for back and fidelity and all that kind of stuff. But I tell you what, man, China coming in with their own crypto, and this isn't like Venezuela, right, with their little stupid petro. I mean, this is freaking China.
And not out of desperation like Venezuela, right? We have to do something. China's like, let's do something.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about Iran. We're not talking about Venezuela. We're talking about China, dude. They owe us $1.7 trillion to the U.S., right? And this is a huge freaking country, right? So them having their own crypto launching in November is huge news. So that's exciting and terrifying all at the same time.
Oh, look, I'm with you completely. And it did start with the Libra thing. I think that we've really got a couple of the start of an orchestra, shall we say. It started with a trumpet, with Facebook getting out there playing the trumpet. The hobo, is that what it's called? No, that's a homeless person. What are they called? The big one, anyway, has snuck in behind the trumpet, which happens to be China. And I think that the rest of them are going to start plugging back in. And eventually, like I said, 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a full orchestra. The whole world's going to be singing this song. And I think that's really, as you say, the ball is now rolling. Not only have we got one of the biggest, most innovative companies in the world, we've also got the biggest, most innovative and forward-thinking nation in the world. China owns, I think, 20 or 30% of the US debt right now, a huge amount of gold. I mean, the way they play the game is the way you would run it if you were running a business, and that's how China operates. So they invest in all these different countries around the world that are resource heavy and resource rich, and give them these wonderful loans with their corrupt governments. They know they're going to default in 10 to 20 years. They default in the loans, and now bam, China now owns their natural resources. If we weren't focused on a 4-year term every single time in our democratic policies and the way that we operate, we could probably start to play the game properly as well. But we're hamstrung by this wonderfully annoying yet wonderful thing called democracy. And that's why China's taking so many steps forward at such a fast rate. So to see them first into the space, it's going to be a very interesting social experiment, and to see how and when that transcends just Chinese borders into other parts of the world. I know in Australia right now, they're trying to bring down a ban on anyone having over $10,000 in cash, whether that be a transaction or on your person. Now, that to me is very, very scary in a nation like Australia. And I think the rest of the world's starting to turn that way. And, the same reason that Facebook would like to control your money, so to speak, is because they know where you're at, what you're at, who your friends are at, where you spend, what the habits are. If you spend more on a rainy day or a stormy day, they know everything about us. Imagine what they know about the money as well. That's what China's doing. That's what Facebook's doing. Don't know if it's for good, don't know if it's for evil. I'd say it's probably suggesting more sort of towards the corporate greed side of things than it is towards the growth of mankind. But we'll have to wait and see. There's going to be some freedom fighters out there for sure. I'm sure you'll be one of them, but it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, mate. Listen, where can we find out more information about you, the project, the whole lot? And also, you're doing a lot of travel lately, coming up. So tell us where you're going to be so that people can find you.
Yeah, so I'm easy to find. You can just type in crypto and then Beadles, Beadles. Anywhere on the internet, you'll find me on YouTube, TV, Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, LinkedIn. As far as Monarch, just go to monarchwallet.com. So that's monarchwallet.com. For merchants, go to monarchpay.com. For conferences, I'm going to be all over the place, man. I'm going to be, in China, Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, see Las Vegas, I think New York. Let's see where else. Vegas, LA. I don't know, man. Malta. Geez, just throw a dart, man. I'm going to be there. All right. So just come to a conference. You're probably going to see me there, talking, interviewing, moderating, doing something, right? Or, repping Monarch.
Golden hat.
That's it. I'm a walking billboard everywhere I go. So, yeah.
Good on you, mate. Well, it really has been great speaking with you, mate. Absolute pleasure. And I wish you all the best with both the payment gateway and the wallet moving forward. Safe travels as you go. And I hope you and your son have a fantastic time. And I'm probably going to see you at one of these events, maybe in Malta. So I look forward to sitting down, shaking your hand and cracking a beer with you.
Sounds great, man. Well, God bless. And thanks so much for having me. Appreciate you.
No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic day. I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye for now. This show is proudly sponsored by TraderCobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to TraderCobb.com, where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com now.